And welcome. And this is season 2 of In the Kitchen with Dr. H. I'm just so excited to have you all in my kitchen again. And remember, this is a Caribbean health cooking show, but we make some small changes to our foods that we enjoy growing up, and we make some nice health changes as we go along. Well, as you remember, on season 1 and continuing into season 2, we have some amazing guests from the community who are powerful influencers who are very interested in promoting health and wellness. So today in particular, I'm very excited. We have Dr. Rosalind Osgood. She is the CEO of Mount Olive Development Corporation. Dr. Osgood, it's such a pleasure to have you here today. We get to cook a little meal together for Thanksgiving and make sure that we stay on a health path. So how are you today?
I'm wonderful, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this incredible show tonight.
Oh, it's our pleasure and our honor. You're doing so much in the community, and I know that I want to hear more about your background. I want to share that with our viewers. Can you share a little bit more about your background?
Certainly. I am a native of Broward County, president and CEO of the Mount Olive Development Corporation, which is the community outreach arm of the new Mount Olive Baptist Church. And we work in partnership with Aetna and other entities to make sure that our community is safe, make sure that they have access to vaccinations, make sure that they have food. Our church is intentional about social justice on all levels.
That's incredible. Well, let's talk a little bit about that vaccination piece. I know there's an event coming up this weekend, right? Can you share a little bit more with our viewers? And I know that we're going to also have some information in the chat box, everyone. Dr. Osgood?
Certainly. So our church does an annual turkey drive giveaway in partnership with Aetna. And this year, Aetna, in partnership with CVS, Faith in Florida, Mount Olive Development Corporation, New Mount Olive Baptist Church, is doing something different. We're adding a clinic to the turkey giveaway. So we will have vaccinations for people who need their first shot. We will have second doses. We will have booster shots. And we will also have flu shots available. So we're making it a one-stop shop. You can get your turkey for Thanksgiving and get what you need to make sure that you are protected from the COVID-19 virus.
I love that. You know, you're having the flu shots. It's flu season right now. The pandemic is certainly not over. And so you're keeping families healthy, and that's important. And that's our theme. And we know that folks who have diabetes or heart disease or may have had a history of cardiovascular disease of any kind, they're at a higher risk of having complications. You know, so those vaccines, that ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. So we applaud you and your team for doing that. And I urge everyone, please go out there, get your families vaccinated. I know that we are looking forward to getting together as a family. We are all vaccinated. Just our youngest child, our son, he just met the criteria now for the 5 to 11 age group. And he started his series already, and we can't wait till he's fully immunized. Because as you said, health and wellness, right? You want to make sure that if you have health, you can enjoy that quality of life with your family.
Yes, and we're just so grateful to Aetna and the leadership of Renthia Jackson, who is the vice president, and all they do to get out into the community to make sure that these types of initiatives take place in low-income communities. It is very important. We are seeing low positivity rates, but we all have a responsibility in keeping those rates low. And we do that by getting vaccinated, washing our hands, continuing to wear our mask, and make sure that we're making good health decisions as it relates to this pandemic. And we're beginning to see new variants take place in other parts of the country. So we want to keep Broward safe. We want to be able to work together, worship together, play with our families together, and get back to those times of meeting and greeting each other. You know, Dr. V, I believe that we were created to be in community. And it is events like this that's taking place on Saturday at the New Mount Olive Baptist Church at 10 a.m. New Mount Olive Baptist Church is located at 400 Northwest 9th Avenue in the city of Fort Lauderdale. Again, that's 400 Northwest 9th Avenue in the city of Fort Lauderdale. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at New Mount Olive or Mount Olive Development Corporation. And we're intentional about making sure that these types of resources come to the community.
I love it. And we're going to make sure we put all of that information in the chat box for everyone. You made such an important point. If we all get vaccinated and we all get immunized, that virus is nowhere to go. And we get to protect our vulnerable members of the community and our families, right? Those whose immune systems may not create those antibodies to protect them despite being vaccinated. So we want to think of everyone's safety. So we are so grateful. Well, on that health note, let's start off with our dish. Now we're celebrating Thanksgiving. We're doing sort of a fusion between the Caribbean and America, right? So today we're going to do a Callaloo stuffed sweet potato. But before we do that, because I know that you're enjoying a cup of chai tea in theme with our event today, I'm going to join you. We're going to create a nice substitute for eggnog, or like we say in Trinidad, punch de creme or punch a creme, which is even more laced with sugar and some alcohol. So this is a non-alcoholic, low-fat, low-sugar version that celebrates fall flavors, right? So chai, of course, is, back in my Indian heritage, I mixed with so many different things, but from my Indian heritage, you basically take dried spices, cinnamon sticks, star anise, you can put cardamom pods in there and cloves, a little black pepper and some ginger as well. And you take that and you boil it. Once you boil it, you end up with a nice, rich looking tea like this chai. And so I like to drink this hot or cold. And so here I have a nice cup of ice. I'm going to add my chai tea to it. And then the trick about this, you don't really need much of any kinds of sugars or too much cream because the flavors in here are so delicious. So what I'm going to do, instead of adding in a lot of sugar or milk, I've got an almond milk and coconut cream mixed with pumpkin puree. So a little bit of pumpkin spice in there. And I'm going to use that. I'm going to measure it out. Now in the Caribbean, we're used to eyeballing stuff. We don't always measure. But I recommend us measuring so you know exactly how many calories you're putting in there, right? We want to stave off diabetes, heart disease, stroke. Here we go. We have 1 tablespoon here, and I'll put just another in. So 1 tablespoon is the equivalent of about 15 calories, 1-5. Imagine that. And that's compared to almost 200 calories in an eggnog. And so here we go. I put in 2, so I have maybe 30 calories here. That's it. And here is my iced creamy chai. So I'm going to enjoy this with you. I'll give you a toast for us to start. And then we're going to make our stuffed sweet potato. Are you ready, Dr. Osgood?
I am ready, and I'm enjoying my chai tea. And just in case I have any church members watching, my chai tea has no alcohol, and it is
excellent.
Delicious.
You don't miss the eggnog, right?
Yes, it is delicious. We also want to give recognition to the South Florida Health Foundation, who has also been a tremendous partner for the last year and making sure that individuals in low-income communities get COVID-19 vaccinations in a user-friendly way, whether they're driving up or walking in. They just provided great staff and great resources to make sure that everybody has equal access to COVID vaccine.
That's exactly right. Well, I'm starting the callaloo dish now. I'm going to put, callaloo is a green, big, leafy vegetable. We have it all over the Caribbean. This version, now my husband's Jamaican and I'm from Trinidad. So we have the dasheen bush on my side and he's got the amaranth leaf, which is a callaloo on his side. So to make it easy, because it takes some time to break down the fresh leaves, instead of cutting it fresh, you can just get the canned callaloo. Now this is already in salted water, so you don't need to add any additional salt. That'll kind of keep our blood pressure down and nice and, make sure that stays stable. So I have a little pot here with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm going to add the callaloo in actually after I go ahead and add my garlic. I just remembered I'm going to put my Trinity in here. Here I have some crushed garlic. I'm going to add that into the pot. And I'm going to mix in, so we like things a little spicy. So I'm going to add in a little Scotch bonnet peppers to it and a little bit of onion as well. I also am going to add in some thyme. Instead of making this to Trinity, we add some thyme to it. Give it a 4th pillar there, right? And that's going to saute a little bit, flavor the oil, And once you have that flavoring happening, you really would not need the extra salt in there. So that's going to cook down just a slight amount. You're going to start to, probably if you're on my side, you can hear a sizzle. And you can start to smell all the fragrant spices, especially that thyme coming up at you. Now, after it sautés for just a little bit here, you're going to be able to add in your callaloo. Now, you can add as much as you'd like. Just depends on how much you're making for the family. I have 2 large sweet potatoes that I steamed ahead, and I left that on the side. I love these little containers because I get to drain out all the water because I don't want to have as much salt. Go. At this point, we can let that cook down a little bit. Usually we're going to speed this up for TV, just so we have the look of the final product. And now I'm going to add in a couple of tomatoes, chopped tomatoes into here. Give it a little bit of a brightness and a color. Nice. Okay, now, instead of callaloo, you can always use spinach. Spinach leaves are another good alternative. So here I have some fresh spinach. Whatever green leafy vegetable you have on hand, you can use this in the same way. Now, the meal that we're making today is a vegetarian type dish. There's no meat in it, but when we top off the sweet potato with the callaloo, if you have leftover turkey shreds or any other leftover meat, you're welcome to put that in here. So I'm excited for next week, Dr. Osgood. My second daughter is coming home from college. I'm wearing actually her apron. Yes, I am adding in a little bit more spice thinking about her. So Renthia, you just joined us. I'm so happy you joined us. Dr. Osgood, it was a pleasure to have you on. Renthia, yes. Are you ready to taste test this with me soon? You ready to taste test this with me soon? I'm going to go ahead and continue to saute this for a little bit. As it's sauteing, I'm letting it steam down a little bit so that some of the juices come out of the callaloo. At this point, I actually add in a little bit of curry powder. I like to give it a little bit of an Indian flair to it. You can, this is an optional piece for you. I just like the curry blend that we have. This actually happens to be a Jamaican curry powder that I'm using. Okay, stir that up a little bit. And I wish you could be over here, you're here in my kitchen, you can smell these delicious spices coming together. So we'll have the sweet of the sweet potato, and then we have the savory of the callaloo. Well, here at this point, once it has a chance to cook down a little bit here, you can now take some of that and stuff your sweet potatoes. I have 2 steamed sweet potatoes. Now you can steam this in an oven, just cover it with foil and put it in for 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. If you want an easier way to do it, you can take these little guys over here, and there's a microwavable bag that it comes in. You can just pop these in the microwave for about 8 minutes. So it just depends on what you want to do. But you can do this ahead of time. Have your steamed sweet potatoes ready and waiting for you. So now, I can hear my callaloo sizzling some more. I'm just going to use a pair of tongs right here and just add it straight in to my sweet potato. Oh, it's sizzling. The spices are coming together. I can smell the curry powder and the onions and the garlic and the Scotch bonnet peppers. And look at the beautiful color with that tomato in there. You can use bell peppers and any of the seasonings that you have available. And that is it. As easy as could be. Well, there we have it, everyone. And I'm going to show to you here. There is
oh my gosh,
our stuffed sweet potato, stuffed with callaloo. All right, look at the beautiful colors. Renthia, I'd love you to introduce yourself, please, because you are with Aetna. We're so excited to also have you on board. Are you excited to try this? Tell us a little bit about your background, Renthia.
Well, my name is Renthia Jackson, as you just said, and I'm the Vice President of Client Management for Aetna, a CVS Health Plan. And I am ecstatic to be here today. You know, I have a lot of diabetes that runs in my family, and I've been fortunate to dodge that bullet thus far. So it's always great to have substitutes and how we can maintain a healthy lifestyle and continue to feed our families with great food, but it tastes well and it's also healthy. So thank you for inviting me to be here tonight as well.
Absolutely, Renthia. We are just excited. This is about health and wellness. We have our families coming in. I mentioned my second daughter's coming home from college next week for Thanksgiving. I'm so excited. I'm wearing that apron that she made when she was in preschool. So, you know, this is about family, celebration, health, putting health forward. We're so excited to have not only the healthy foods and the healthy lifestyle, but also we want to remind everyone to go out for the vaccination drive. Please look on in the chat. We will have the flyer put out there with all the information that Dr. Osgood mentioned. Renthia, thank you to you and your team for promoting health and wellness. And we are ready for another show coming up very soon. But in the meanwhile, any final words of wisdom for Thanksgiving?
You know what? We're coming out of, because I want to be positive, of a very trying time where we have to separate from friends and family, the ones that we love the most. And I think Thanksgiving is the time of year where we come together over food, and it's a way of showing how we love our families and traditions. So I think that this year should be extra special because we're able to come together because we've been vaccinated and we're healthy. And so I want to encourage those who haven't quite made that leap to go out to the vaccination drive this weekend. Make sure you get vaccinated. Stay healthy, not only for yourself, but for your loved ones, your friends, and your family.
Excellent. Thank you, Renthia. Well, on that note, to everyone, have a happy and healthy Thanksgiving with your families. Get vaccinated. Make some small changes. You see our beautiful stuffed sweet potatoes over here with Callaloo. And we want to wish everyone just good health and long life. And we welcome you to join us for the next episode. Thank you all.
Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays.